Hey guys, it is Ryan, Feathers Elite Pigeon Actions. What is going on this evening? You see there up there the link in the top corner of the screen. You know what that means? You can't steal this. Don't steal it, rip it off, chop it apart. Don't do that. That's not being decent. Sometimes the computer just does weird things. Anyways, camera's a bit close on my face. I'm sorry about that. I'm just editing and doing some stuff here on a computer. I got the nice backdrop. Check that out, eh? You weren't expecting that one. Anyways, we got a lot of stuff going on at Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. We're starting to wind down to the end of the auction season. We're gonna have some small, very small, tiny auctions coming up. I call them two-bird pops. You're gonna really see some super quality in these. Next week we've got Bosman and Leakins and Dan Rigo. Supers. Michael Peevler, what's going on? Reminder, guys, this show always works best when you guys participate. I'm going to put up two screens here. So I'll stay in the A, and we'll put this up here in the B. Pioneer one loft race. Come on, guys. I'm going to come and fly this. Good evening, all. Rosedale Lofts. And Joseph, I have pigeons coming up, I think, for both of you next week. Dirk Leakins, Bozeman and Leakins. I got to finish the loft tour. I got to go back and do two loft tours to redo them. My mics were not working. I did like 6 hours of filming for nothing, but that's okay. Let's have a drink. I'm having one. Jay-Z, I better see a big team from you this year because we're going to win my race. But Rosedale, Bozeman, and Leakins, I posted the photo. Did I post the photo yesterday? Check. I think I did. I'm gonna pull it up, see if I can grab it if it's here. Yeah. Hold on. I'm gonna just post this up. Um, Let me get rid of this. Let's get back to my screen. Let's go my screen solo. I was talking with Mark Bosmans. Maybe I pronounced the name wrong, but it's okay. And we were just looking at pigeons. But you see in this photo, you see the black checker hen. She's the grandmother of this 1.6 million euro winning pigeon in Pioneer Club in China. Bosman and Leakins, they just really kick ass. Now, I was very lucky to obtain two pigeons from them, and that's going to come up next week. But I don't want to take anything away from right now what's going on. And I think it's kind of cute, and I think it's kind of funny. We got two auctions running right now. And you guys that watch, there's two different thought processes here. We've got the Normans. They are running at Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions, and the bids are coming in. Looking like it's going to be a pretty good auction. There's some fantastic pigeons. And if you want automatically my picks in this sale, it's going to be the lot one and the match pair, 100%. If anyone can tell me why, I might give you a t-shirt. But on the other side of the fence, it's Eric Lindbergh. Now, he is one of Belgium's very best. This is his first audition. I got the audition at Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. We're going to do his auction. 6 pigeons. These pigeons are built the way God intended them to be. They are absolutely perfect. The number 1 cock, he's super. The blue bar white flight hen is super. 0 bids on these pigeons. And I'm kind of wondering why. What is not tickling your fancy on this group of pigeons? Let me know. Reminder, my job is to bring North America, my job is to bring the people that watch this show the best pigeons out there. So you tell me, helps me out. You know, we always say quality control. Shit, they did it with the elves, didn't they? Heather Green, hello from Idaho, Miss Heather Green. Half to wolf. Heather Collins, hello. Mwah. There's my girl, Heather Collins. Heather, I'm in the hotel. You know the one. The one where Jerry got lost and almost, you know, didn't make it to the bathroom in time. Stephen O'Brien, the best for racing pigeons. Who's the best for racing pigeons? And if you are in Stephen O'Brien, I'm going to tell you both of the lots next week. So only two pigeons from each guy, Dan Ragul and um Bosman and Leakins. The hen and a cock and a hen and a cock. Out of this world. They're matched and stacked perfectly. You can't go with buying one. I recommend you buy the pairs and watch out. And these two guys, they have the same bird. So it all works together. Again, Lucky Luke is the base of Bosman and Leakins, and it's a big base in Ragul's. So we'll put them together like we did Chris Clarebot and Willie Daniels. People are getting great results with them, and people will get great results with what's coming up. But have you guys taken a look? Have you guys not taken a look at lot number one at the Nicholas Norman sale? Have you guys done your homework, done your research? Have you done it? Have you looked at it? The last son of Zorro. There it is. So Zorro, Abram, Wolverine. There you have it. You cannot go wrong on this. Hand selected, 10s out of 10s. Beautiful, super quality. Ryan, when you visiting Cape Town? Hey, you want me to come and do a loft tour at your place? You just book me the flight, get me the hotel, and we'll work out something on a loft tour, and I'll come and visit you. I love to get to I'd love to get to Cape Town. I'd love to get to Australia. I'd love to go to China. I'm going to be going to China this coming year, so that's going to be a big thing. We're going to expand a little more, but I'm going to tell you guys this. The pigeons that we bring, they're great, great, great quality. Eric Lindbergh pigeons are big, high dollars. Now, these are grandchildren and great-grandchildren. I'm sorry. It's what the boss would give me. I couldn't get super directs, and I wanted those super directs. But I know a long time ago, I went and bought from Dean Pallet, and when I went to buy, you couldn't get direct children from Voss Whittacoff. You couldn't get them from the original super Staffan rates. And I got great great grandchildren. I bought 24. Man, that was a good buy. Man, it was good. It wasn't a boatload of money. I think I paid 25,000 for the group, but man, it was good. It was really good. Now, one thing I know about Eric, he's well respected. He's got pigeons that stay at the top. What do I say? These birds, you will not go to his loft and get them for 250 Canadian dollars. Each one will be 500 euros. So what do I recommend? Don't think. Just click and buy them all. Try them and watch. Let's just see. When I handled them, I thought they were all direct children of super pigeons. I said, give me your best. We put them in my hands. Boom. They were super nice. Now, pedigrees are loaded, but they're a little bit back in the tree. This is one where if you don't want to spend a boatload of money, but you got from one of the best lofts in Belgium, I take a gamble. That's if you have it. Or put your money together, buy a little bit more direct from the tree. You can do that as well. But I like the construction of these pigeons, and still the pedigrees are loaded. Anyways, guys, this show works best when you guys participate. If you don't speak to me, it makes my drinking so slow. It's like, ah, ah. I've got dinner plans this week with Van de Posch and Joe and Florian Hendricks from the Netherlands, so that's going to be fun. We keep working. I know you guys haven't seen a boatload of loft tours. We're getting to that. We're going to be 99% sure going to be doing an auction for Rick Herman's, the Doif man. So that's great. But anyways, the crowd's a little quiet today. I thought you guys would be more upbeat. These shows make it hard when you guys are asleep. I believe destination compare. I don't know. Oh, what did I want to pull up? I wanted to pull up this guy right here. This is the match pair from the Normans. We'll be with the Normans this week. We'll be with Eric Lindbergh this week. Tomorrow we'll be with Eric and Nicholas and Philip. Either I'm going to be there with them tomorrow evening, which I'm hoping it's going to be tomorrow evening because I would just like to go that way because I got to drive about 2 hours. So I want to try and knock off two birds with one stone. But this match pair again, the cock is a full brother to lot number one. Out of the section of pigeons, we selected two brothers. Wow. Again, Zorro, when you think of Zorro, you think of right away. Without Zorro, there's not Abram. Without Abram, there's not Wolverine. Take a look. I know I got you guys all over the map, and you're not sure what's going on, but hey, it is what it is. That's good pickup, Rick Herman's. Ah, yes. Steve Collins, what time is it there in Australia? I missed your call today. Hey, boss. Hey, what's going on from Romania? On training, okay, Randall Van Rensburg. He's definitely Dutch, but I think he's from Cape Town. They travel, they fly. Anyways, on training young birds, when will be the best time to start road training? Listen, okay, everyone has their own remedy, their own, what they like to do. Think about a child, not a child from this modern day, children from way back when. Way back when. Stephen Collins, good morning from Australia. Pigeons get up, they start, you let them out, they go out onto the board, wean them from the parents, 24 days old, let's say 25 days old, 16 to 25 days old, they're weaned. Get them out on the board, sit on the board, they go up, they go down, they go up, they go down, they go up, they go down, and they start to fly. Flying 5 minutes, they fly 10 minutes, flying 20 minutes, they're flying an hour, they're flying 35 minutes, and they're disappearing, and they're coming back. And they're disappearing, and they're coming back. And at first, they're going to disappear for a couple minutes, and they come back. Then all of a sudden, you're going to see them start to disappear for 10, 15 minutes, then they come back. At that point, in my mind, that's the time to start training them. They're flying an hour and a half, and they disappear and they come back. And when I mean disappear, you don't see them for maybe 35 minutes and they come back. That means they're telling you, hey, we're out, we're cruising, man. We're cruising. That's the time when I would start to train them. If you leave them, they're going to go and ramble and come back and ramble and come back and ramble and come back. And the longer you leave them, there's a flat spot in the mind. Evolution of the mind. I think you want the mind to learn the shit quick. If you guys have it, and I don't know, in Cape Town, they have these schools called Montessori schools. Children go to school at 3 years old. But they're in a small classroom with kids that are 3 years old to 13 years old, and they all learn together. I've seen kids at 5 years old doing public speaking. Okay? How does this work with pigeons? Make the mind learn quicker. Remember, when you learned to ride a bicycle, it was easy. You weren't afraid when you were 3 years old or 4 years old to ride a bike. Right now, I know how to ride a bicycle. I'm scared shitless to get on a bicycle. I haven't rode a bicycle since I was 18, 15. So What I'm thinking is, it's just common sense. They're going to tell you when they're ready. Now, if you let them out, they just circle around the loft. They just circle around the loft. They go real high. They just stay around that loft, stay around that loft, stay around that loft. They're doing it for 30 minutes and they're not disappearing. Just relax. Make it a point when you let them out, have a coffee and sit there. Sit there and let them tell you what they're thinking, what they're doing. Watch the wing stroke. Watch which one's a deadbeat. Watch. People say, how do you know pigeons? It's quite simple. Slow down and watch. They're going to tell you. They're going to tell you. But if you don't watch, if you let them out, clean the loft, you're wasting your time. It's great to clean the loft. Watch the birds. Seven in the Loft is looking forward to this year's Pioneer Race. Hey guys, I hope you guys put 6 in. Mary, 6 for you and 6 for your husband. Inch by inch, brick by brick, mile by mile, no stone left unturned. These 2 auctions, yes, and watch out for next week's auctions. Guys, I'm not shitting you. We're raising the level. You know, I got to keep bringing new talent to Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. And sometimes I get a little worried because you guys won't know some of these names. Bosman and Leakins, you don't know them in North America. Guaranteed home run pigeons. When they sell every pigeon to China, they sell their entire loft. Their entire loft. They rebuild and then do it again. And they rebuild. They got super pigeons. Guys, I'm not lying to you. Some of the pigeons we have are unbelievable. Nice to see you on, Gabe. Gabe, you've got to get in our one loft race. Again, if you guys are in the United States and you're looking for direct children or grandchildren from Best Kittle, Gabe Ledbetter, he's got them. Rosedale Loft says he agrees. He agrees. Stephen Collins, how's the fence looking, my brother? And Heather, how the hell are you doing, my dear? Let's look here. Robert Hamilton. Robert, you should get in touch with, right here, I'm going to post up the name, Stephen Collins. Stephen wants to use your bathing suit, and maybe you guys can become Australian pigeon buddies. Stephen Collins, guys, I'm playing around. Stephen Collins and Heather Collins, they came on our Pigeon Boss tour. I think they had a great time. I had a great time meeting them. Really nice people. Stephen's a great pigeon man. And I think the secret is Heather. It's not Stephen. It's Heather. Mike Parrish says, hello. Hey, Mike, get your team signed up, guys. Forget these 1 bird, 2 bird, 3 bird. No, put a team of 6 in minimum. And the reason why I tell you this, and there's only one reason. 100 miles, 200 miles, 300 miles. We're going to do it in 7 days. Stephen Collins, I'm going to throw this one at you. Did you like the birds on the Pigeon Boss tour? That's my question. Did you like the breeders? Did you like the people you met? This is my first question because I'm gonna hook Stephen Collins up. Stephen O'Brien says, hey, what's going on? I gotta get some more ice, but I am gonna wait. Stephen attacked it today with the chainsaw. First day back, and he's already chainsawing. This guy, he traveled 24 hours to come on the Pigeon Boss tour. I thought that was great. Stephen O'Brien, you got to come on our tour, my friend. We got to get you on the next one. Let's see. What other comments are there? Again, I asked the question. The Normans, Eric Lindbergh. What's the deal, guys? Having a Coke and whiskey. Greg Cole. Hey, Greg, where are you watching from? I am going to go up to the bar and I am going to get some more ice. They were all good people. Birds were fantastic. Now, Stephen, I have, uh, Stephen, I would like you to participate in our Pioneer One Loft race this year. I have a few special breeders that have purchased quite a few birds that I know from Feathers Elite, and I know have done very well in one loft races. If you want to put a team of 6 in, and you can mail me Australian bands, you're going to be in it to win it. We can get you a team in, and remember, don't let Heather name them, and actually let Heather name them. Don't name them. Greg Cole says Cornwall. Where the hell's Cornwall? Is that Cornwall? Is Cornwall British Columbia? Jason Mihalik, he is my man. This guy loves eye sign. As my buddy Stephen Collins learned, there's one magic tip to the eye sign. And guys, I can tell you this right now. It's not in the photo. Jeff, your opportunity to get the Norman birds. Hey, you never know. Cornwall, Ontario. Greg, you got to get some birds in our race this year. Greg, Cornwall's not far. East of Toronto. Yeah, I know. I know you're east of Toronto. I'm not that new. Oh, my ears itchy. Problem with the earmuffs where your ears get itchy. It drives me crazy. Oh, I got to grab some more ice. You guys want to come with me or you want to wait? Mm? Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. Let's go. Let's go grab some more ice. Ah, let's see if we can get a little bit more. Oh, give me a second, guys. Check that bar out, eh? That stuff there will make you go Indian in a good way. Oh, waiting for the guy. I gotta wait for the guy to come back. Oh, I don't want to take the camera into the bar when the guy's not there. I was going to talk to you about OLR. Yes. Well, I kind of figured you did. Do you remember this corner, Stephen? Do you remember where we were? Do you remember where we are? Let's see if I can grab some more ice over here. I think is my camera a bit smudgy? This was the elevator that caused so many problems. Let's just see here. Oh, my knees from sitting are sore. Let's see if there's somebody at the bar. No. Nobody at the bar. I sign. No, I've learned so much about eye sign from what I thought I knew to what I actually know. I'm going to grab some more ice from you, my friend. Yes, thank you. Ryan, if there's products that you would use to keep birds healthy, what would it be? Well, listen, you got to remind yourself, and I'll give you a tip. Give me a second here. Give me a second, guys. What's your... Thanks, man. All right, we're going to go back. We're going to finish this off on what we're doing. We're going to answer some more questions, but I got to get back to my seat. I'm in the corner where the stockbrokers sit. Okay, so let's get to a few questions. The first one is, what products? Well, sometimes it's not the products. Sometimes it's what you don't use. I mean, listen, when you're racing, canker, cocci, respiratory, some probiotics, I think is great. But you got to know how to use it, know when to use it. Your breeders and that, keep them clean. Keep them clean. You don't want to be, actually, it's a fun fact. Ricky, he's breeding at home. He's got 24 pairs in individual breeding pens. Got a late bred cock put in. He's so excited. Well, he's driving his hen. His hen looks like she's going to lay, or they're building a nest for that matter. Not one pigeon has a mark on him. You come down with hardcore respiratory. All of a sudden, respiratory, you start losing weight. Ricky called me. He says, hey, Ryan, the 1162, I put him in the ground today. What? Why? 2 days, respiratory starts to go down. Good job, Ricky. Put him into the ground. Finished. I'm not treating him to fix. He's got the weakness. There's a weakness in him. Got to come out. Let me hold on here, guys. So, with your breeders, keep everything as natural as possible. Okay, if you want to vaccinate them for PNV, go ahead. But you shouldn't have to run drugs through them. Give them greens, give them lots of grits, lots of minerals. The race birds, you want to keep them as clean for as long as you can before you give them anything. I don't think you want to start pumping drugs into pigeons. Drugs don't fix. Drugs only make it weaker. For instance, when I used to play soccer, I had to retire. I had to have back surgery. I had to wait 8 months or so for back surgery. And I tried acupuncture. I tried everything. The only thing that would ease any pain was Percocets. So start off taking a Percocet. Wow, what a feeling. Didn't feel no pain. A couple days, 7 days go by. I take a Percocet. I go, oh, I feel the pain. I take 2 Percocets. I don't feel no pain. 2 weeks go by. I'm taking 2 Percocets. Oh, I got pain. Got to take 3 Percocets. Before my surgery, up to that point, I think I was taking like 7 Percocets to take the pain away. Now, I'm lucky I don't have an addictive personality. After my surgery, I didn't need no more Percocets. But your pain tolerance, everything gets tolerable. And I think sometimes people, they just overdrug the pigeons. Less is more. Right? Less is more. Stephen O'Brien says, the best racing pigeons is in Ireland. Every country says the same thing. I don't know where the best are. I think Ireland has a very unique group of pigeons. So I'm going to say you guys there's something different about the Irish pigeons. And I don't think it's in a bad way. I think it is in a good way. Very tough pigeons. Learned a lot from you in 2 weeks, especially about eye sign, your specialty. Now, we learned it, and you got to come on that tour to learn it. What I always like is when you go to these breeders, you will learn if you open up your mind and listen. And what was so good about the guys on my group, on this last group, was they listened and they asked questions and they listened. They weren't telling them what they did. When you come on these trips or you go to these breeders, you don't really have to tell them. What you're doing is you're there to learn, sponge off the information. Listen, they're already winning. You learn from them. You don't have to teach them. Let them teach you. And maybe, just maybe, you won't learn anything. And you know what? That could be true. You might not learn anything. But I highly doubt it. And I could ask, Stephen was there. Did you learn from each breeder? Was there something you learned from each one? And don't worry, I'm not having a Heather. I'm having a Coke Zero and what's your bill for the hotel stays? You need to get someone to stay with. We know that. You don't understand. I don't like to be a inconvenience. I don't like to stay at people's houses. I really don't, because I don't know, you feel obligated, or you feel, I'm just not that kind of guy. Um, my hotels are roughly between 100 and 150 euros a night. On weekends, they're 200 euros a night. People think that what we do here is a holiday. There's no holiday in this. This is trying to get content and stuff. And I'm at a crossroads for getting content, because to get the content, someone's got to pay. And I think everyone needs to, just a little bit. If everyone pays a little bit, I pay, Rita pays, everyone pays a bit, then we keep learning. Maybe I'm wrong. What do you guys think? So hopefully that answered your question, because that was the question. Les Gerard, what's going on? Time to get you into our Pioneer again this year. You were a big winner, and then this year you didn't show up. But hey, I hope hopefully this year you'll come in. I didn't see you at Blackpool. I figured you would be there. But again, guys, our Pioneer One Loft, I really want to get a good group this year. We deserve it. I mean, we deserve it because, hey, last year was a bad year. It was terrible. A fucking train wreck, wasn't it? We could have quit. Nah, we didn't quit. We didn't quit. We won't stop. We can't stop. It's not in our DNA to stop. But we played it right through to the end. And this year, I'm going to try to get as many birds to that finals as possible. We're not going to do no tricks this year, though. It's just going to be a flat-out, simple year. No pulling flights, no nothing. Just play them as they come. And sometimes when you try something, you can get screwed up. But hey, I'm an honest guy. I'll stand in front of you and say it wasn't my best season. It was my worst one ever. But what didn't make it my worst season was that I didn't quit, that I didn't stop. Because everyone would have said, these birds ain't going to do it. You better stop. The birds did it. It wasn't a lot, but they did it. Let's get back to the comments and see. Yes, good advice. I agree. And Stephen O'Brien, I think you I think you agree with me. I think the Irish pigeons are completely different. So, I mean, and I think what you're talking about is all these the water pigeons. That's just a different zone, man. It's just a complete different zone. And I think they're super tough. They're super mentally strong. And I don't know how that plays out in one loft racing, because you don't see a lot of top Irish results, but maybe they don't send a lot. And I can't say that I know for sure. I haven't looked at every race to know where the Irish score, but I know they have real, like, FU tough pigeons. You know what I'm saying? What's your perception on body weight? Well, okay. Here's a Coke can. It's empty. Feel when one is empty. Feel when one just has that much in it. Feel the difference. Your pigeons can have super muscle, but they have to feel like this. They have to feel completely empty. They have to be empty. They have to feel buoyant. If they feel like they've got a quarter of a can, nope, no good. And if they feel full, they're too heavy. when I handle pigeons, I want to feel light pigeons. Light pigeons is super. I think flying natural this year will be good. Yes. Hey, we're going to fly them natural, and we're going to fly 3 races in a week. And I know what you guys think. That's super hard. That's super tough. Blah, blah, blah. You send the pigeons with the power. They'll be all right. Every time I've done this, I've flown it in the U.S. At the Triple Crown. I had birds that did it. I know it can be done. And that's going to be the little quirk to this season. Lester Ard says they do well in the UK. And again, UK is, but I'm saying, I'm looking at those one loft races. I know the Irish pigeons do well. I'm just saying, actually, don't even worry what I'm saying. Irish pigeons are great. The English pigeons are good. The German pigeons are fantastic. Holland, Belgium, it's a dogfight for number one. My pick still is Belgium. I go first Belgium, second the Netherlands, third the UK, third is close with Germany, and Ireland's right there, France is right there. Then it kind of goes down. But again, it's what you see, it's what you look at, it's the pigeons you handle. I don't handle winning pigeons that are heavy like stones. If they're heavy, clunky, if you're feeding all the pigeons the same way every day, here's something to try. I don't know if you overfeed. You could be an overfeeding pig, right? You just keep feeding. Go basket all your pigeons, put them in individual widowhood baskets so they're nice and calm, and pick them up and handle each one. This one feels heavy. Put H for heavy. Pick up this cock. He's not heavy. This pigeon feels almost like a hen. He's light. You put light. Go through them all and feel. Then you see how they eat. I think you can get over heavy feeding. I think a lot of people are too heavy when feeding. For instance, the pigeon holds, when the crop's full on a pigeon, it takes them like 3 days or 4 days to it'll go down, but inside the system, the bird holds it. So when you're flying sprint pigeons and that, I'm flying them completely empty of feed. If I fly on a Saturday, the last meal is going to be Thursday. Now they're going to eat on Thursday because I want them to use all that feed that they ate on Thursday midday, big meal on Thursday, big meal, real big meal, all the goods, give it to them. Then they're going to sit parked Thursday, Friday, come down, they charge. Friday, they're going to look like they want to rip your shoes off again. They're going to be hungry because the system's working correctly. Even though they were full on Thursday afternoon, by Friday, by noontime, they're going to say, hey, Daddy, where's the feed? Nope. Give them the water. Let them have a drink. Put them in a basket. Send them to the club. Right up to 200 miles. Play them that way. Play them that way. That's it. They're going to come home. Everything they want to eat. Charge up, recharge them when they come home. The day after they come home, I'm light again. I don't care if they eat. I don't want them to eat on Sunday. The race is Saturday. They come home like bullets. Sunday, no. They ate all day Saturday, Sunday. I walk in to just say hello. Like this. They won't be crazy hungry. Nope. Monday is going to be the same thing again. Maybe a little bit more, but light. You have to build up the fire to eat. Remember, They got to still do this. But you don't want pigeons flying home half crop, quarter crop of feed. I want the system, the crop's got to be empty, and the system's got to be towards 50% towards the end. Les Gerard says barley is the way to fly good. Depends on what you're flying. Barley's good. It's good. Nothing wrong with barley. But you got to know how much to feed, when to feed, when to take them off barley. With your youngsters or barley, they use it as a light mix. So a light mix can be any race mix, heavy race mix, cut it 50% barley. Feed it. One fistful at a time. 25 birds in a section. Start off feeding, call them down, 1 or 2 fistfuls. All the barley gets cleaned up, 1 fistful. Everybody's eating, all the barley gets cleaned up, another fistful. They eat that, all the barley gets cleaned up, another fistful, until you see them leaving 2-3 bits of barley or 1 or 2 birds go for the drink. Done. You're using the barley as a break. They'll never overeat on barley. If you know how to feed, you can make them fat on barley, but most of the time, no. They have to eat everything when everything is finished. So when they eat all the feed, give them another one. All the feed, give them another one. All the feed, give them another one. And when you feed 1 fistful at a time, slowly. When you feed slow, you watch. I know these people that use the feeders. It's beautiful, isn't it? I hate feeders. I like to feed pigeons. I like to feed them on the floor. If you got the graded floors, make a feed tray with a little lip, plywood. Throw the feed 1 fistful at a time. 1 fistful at a time. Make yourself a beverage. Have a cigar. It's going to take you an episode of TV to feed them, or maybe 2, maybe an hour, maybe 40 minutes, maybe 30 minutes. Slow and steady. Slow and steady. And when you feed them slow, you can, let's say you're feeding 50% barley and 50% race mix. Throw in 1 fistful of peanuts. First time they ever see it. Nothing else until they eat that. If you want them to eat flax, 1 fistful of flax. Let them eat it. Wintertime is when a lot of people overfeed, especially when they never go out and fly. Well, sure, fat pigeons don't breed good. Wintertime is the time you practice feeding. If you practice feeding in the winter, you'll breed super youngsters because you're watching the diet. You're not letting everyone get fat. Picture yourself. Go out and eat like a pig. Do you want to breed? No, you don't. Another thing, when you're feeding in the wintertime, it's perfect feeding to learn how to teach pigeons how to eat from your fingers, sit on your head, sit on your shoulders. It brings the breeders down to go up, down to go up. But a lot of people, they just put the tray full of feed and they walk away. When you do that and you feed heavy, you're screwed. Remember, guys, you want your hens to not be fat. Lean, trim, healthy. When you pair them up, you want to give them a little bit of extra feed to motivate them a bit, build them up so they're feeling a little more excited, a little more energy. Pair them up, take the barley out, give them a little bit richer mix. A couple days of rich mix, then back to 50-50 again. You're going to Get them firing. I always watch when people feed in the winter, and I kind of laugh. they're feeding they're feeding them the best feeds, and because they feel like they have to. You can feed them the best feeds, but you have to have them on a nice light diet mix with a little bit of fuel to keep warm. Not not crazy not crazy widowhood mix or breeder mix. Any mix that you use, oops, any mix that you use, cutter, anywhere between, I don't know, 30, 40, 50% barley. I always hand feed is the way, yes. Me too. That's the one thing I hate about graded floors. I don't like the feeling feeding in feeders. I like, to be honest, I just like feeding by hand. Uh, on that way of feeding, do you feed once a day? Listen, no. I like to feed them twice a day. If you're going to feed them twice a day, in the morning time, it's like breakfast. They'll go out, they'll do their exercise. And you roughly know, let's just say you have 50 pigeons and they're eating 25 handfuls at dinner, fistfuls. They're roughly eating that every day, give or take, 23 today, 27 tomorrow, this way, this way, this way, this way. In the morning, I'm going to feed them very slowly again. I'm going to feed them between 4 and 6 fistfuls. Slowly, and I'm going to sit on the floor with them, and I'm going to make them climb on me, and I'm going to make them crawl on me, and I'm going to put corn in my mouth, and I'm going to make them pick them out of my mouth, and I'm going to play fight. And the reason I'm doing that is I'm building the bond. I'm giving them some feed. I'm teaching them respect. I'm daddy. We all work together. That's it. Light breakfast. And again, I want you to use common sense. Tomorrow you're going to go cut down the tree. Before you go and cut down that tree, think about it. You're going to go cut down the tree with the chainsaw and you're going to move the wood. You're going to get up in the morning, you have a drink of water or coffee, and you're not going to make breakfast yet. You're going to go outside and say, I'm going to work for 2 hours and have breakfast. Go work for 2 hours. When you come in, you're not going to have eggs and bacon and get full. All you're going to want to do is sit on the couch. You're not going to want to work. You've got to keep the system rolling. Light. That's right. And this is a great comment that Rosedale puts out. When you have a feed tray or a feeder, trough feeder, the pigeons, they get selective and everyone's in a line. I sort of take a piece of plywood, cut it to the size of my floor, size of my section. And then what I like to do, and I think it's important, is I put sides on it. I clean it after feeding. I have a rag with me. I always have a rag. Why do I have a rag? When you feed pigeons slow, sometimes they'll have a little shit in the drinker, or not in the drinker, in the feeder. I use a little rag or scraper. Feed slow. Slow is the key. Slow down feeding. Make it a point this year when you're feeding your youngsters. Take 30 minutes. 30 minutes to feed. Every time you feed. I don't care if it's this much or it's this much. 30 minutes. Take your time. Use this. Hear, watch. Watch who's cooing. Watch who's feeling good. For 5 minutes. Pick out corn. Hold it in your finger. Nope, nobody wants corn. If they're not responding to you the way you want, guess what you can say? Today it snowed. I'll see you tomorrow. Close the door. Make them talk to you. Make them communicate with you. You have to put time in. I found the Jerry feed works good for me. Yes, that's a very good young bird mix. That's a very good Versalagas Jerry mix. It's a light mix. It can take the birds right out to 200, 250 miles, no problem. When you want a little more gas, you use a little more gas with the feed towards the end. Good feed. I'm not going to lie. I love the Jerry mix. I used it for multiple years. But people overfeed all the time. Remember, pigeon feed costs money. What you put down, they eat. Flicking feed left and right, and spilling it. My birds don't eat peas, or my birds don't like wheat, and my birds don't, and my birds don't, and my birds don't. Your birds are controlling you. It's a table. They're having a table of drinks. My new Belgian birds don't speak English. You have to remember, pigeons don't speak English, or Belgian, or French, or Hungarian, or Slovakian, Romanian, German. They speak pigeon. And those who win races learn how to speak pigeon. So, if you want to win pigeon races, you're going to have to learn how to speak pigeon. Maybe you guys think I'm wrong. That's okay. Stephen O'Brien's having a drink. Listen, if you have great quality pigeons that are fat and overweight, they're not going to perform. If you have shitty pigeons that are fat and overweight, they're not going to perform. If you have super great pigeons that are fed right, loft flown right, and trained right, and rested properly, you'll get to the top. But first step is great pigeons. Second step is good feeding, and good management, training properly, training around the loft properly, training down the road properly, and knowing when to rest. Oh, sweetheart, I know you were kidding. I was just playing back with you. Hey, guys, if you want a great storybook, Sherry, my girl, Bertha and the Racing Pigeon, a great gift you got me. Thank you. It's in my room. I have to get a photo of that. I will when I get back. I use the alfalfa pellets to know if my birds are hungry or not. If they aren't hungry, they will leave the pellets. Excellent. You've used something. Okay. David? To anyone else? Gerard Koopman. He would always put cubed carrots. When they leave the carrots, no more feed. It's the same thing. Yeah, soup spin in the morning, soup spin in the evening. That's easy to say. When you're racing and you're building up towards the end, you might need to give them a bit more. It's like people. Everyone eats a little bit. You have to learn. You have to feel it. Soup spoon. It's a good line. Again, I go by the feeding. If I'm looking at them and I'm watching them, reminder: pigeons go for water. Here's a good thing. I know a guy. His name's Paul Whiteman. This guy's a bodybuilder. He's beautiful. He's built the way God intended a man to be built. And he said something very interesting to me. He said, "I want you. What do you like to eat?" And I said, "Oh, I like Chinese food or this or that." He said, "Okay, make a nice plate, like a plate that you would normally eat. Like you're gonna have a big feast." And he said, "I want you to have a glass of water." And he said, this is what you're going to do. You're going to start eating slowly and just eat. And as soon as you say you want a drink of water, you stop eating. But you finish the glass of water and stop. That's your body telling you you're done. It's the same with the pigeons. So, I don't know if this helps you guys or what it does, but we just try and talk about pigeon stuff. Again, guys, our Pioneer One Loft race is coming up. Me and Ricky are going to run it this year. I'm going to have to redeem myself from last year's catastrophe of shit. But I will. Well, hey, that's how you feed. People don't realize you can buy the best pigeons. You can feed the best feed, give them the best medication, train them. But there's one thing everyone forgets. You have to put the time in. You have to put the time in. The slower you feed, the more time you put in the pulling of the beaks and the playing with them and the rubbing of the chest and the talking to them and treating them like they're part of your team, they will give you more. But again, what do I know, right? I think Patrick Brooks made a very interesting comment about Sagan. He believed he gave Sagan a little bit more. Yeah. Guys, everyone needs more feed. Come on. You have to look, but you have to take your time. When he was feeding Sagan, he's feeding him in a nest box. He's watching 12 pigeons. Okay? He's seen what he looked at. He's using this. Young birds is different. Communication of bonding over the pigeons. Yes, you have to communicate. Somehow you have to find that way to communicate. You know, all the top flyers, they put the time in. I don't hear any of them say, I dump the feed and leave. Not one. Whenever I've done my best flying clubs and combine races, it's always when I put the time in. Yeah, everyone has different metabolisms, 100%. What was I going to switch over to here? But again, guys, I'm going to be at the Normans this week. Check out these lots. There's some super pigeons. I asked Stephen Collins what he thought about the Nicholas Norman pigeons. Stephen Collins, I recommend if you want them to go to Canada, you buy the lot number one, the match pair, and pick a hen. And you can play in North American races before we can get them sent to Australia. Or, hey, if you guys want to get real kinky, buy all 6 of these. You're going to get them for absolutely free. And let's see what happens. I have a good feeling because these pigeons, they were mind-bogglingly nice in the hands. Let's switch over here, see if we get any more comments. Metabolism is different. Yes, it is. You guys are really participating good today, which I like to see. Participation is key. This week, Norman's, Eric Lindbergh. I got to go to Dan Ragul's, Dirk Leakins. I got to go to the pigeon store. I'm going out with Hendricks, Joe and Florian Hendricks with Vanderposh. We're going out. Might do a Facebook Live there, have some fun. I don't know. Let's see what we can get into. And again, if you want me to come to your area, do a loft tour, let me know. All you got to do is fly me there, put me up in a hotel, and I'm going to charge you a little bit of money for a loft tour. You're going to get a few thousand views, you're going to sell some pigeons, and you're going to be happy. On your lot number 1, I just want to show you guys this. I'm going to post this up. I posted it yesterday, but check this out. Lot number 1. So this is the last son of Zorro. Yeah. Give me a little explanation on Zorro.
Yeah, Zorro is father and grandfather from our best line. So 80% from the bloodline Zorro is inside our pigeons. So he was a very good racer also. He made 3 times top results, national and international flights. I think, yeah, it's one of the most famous breeders you have in Belgium for sure. And yeah, if you say the name Norman, I think Zorro comes like that.
Zorro, killer pigeon.
And Zorro would be related to?
Zorro is a matter of fact the old Catrice line. Yeah. So yeah, my grandfather bought some pigeons from Catrice.
And also relation to Wolverine, correct?
Yes.
This would be
the grandfather from Wolverine.
Grandfather of Wolverine, right there.
And the son is Abraham. So Abraham is father
and guys,
father and winner.
We have two direct children from this pigeon. What do you think of them?
Beautiful. For the 90s.
2007.
Yeah.
Doesn't look it.
Nice.
It's strange. He is still first.
Remember, I asked you last year. I says, "Can you get a baby out of him?"
Yeah.
You should see.
Are nice. Eh?
They're not nice. They're 12 plus.
12 plus rotation.
Very. For me, it's a little bit strange. It's my first pigeon that's the age of that. He's still 30, so 17 years old.
You've got him paired up now? Is he paired?
Yes.
Eggs?
Huh?
Eggs now?
Not eggs for the moment, but she will lay.
Any day.
I have already youngsters from him.
Yeah?
In the first round.
Nice. Yeah.
Beautiful. What do you think?
Take a picture. Beautiful pair. Take a picture.
Hold on, I got a picture. Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. Hold on. 1 second. 1 second. Settle down. I hit the mute button. Okay. I'm going to it's okay. It's 45 seconds. No sound. I'm here. I did that for a test. Okay. How many weeks left in Europe? A couple more, for sure. Mike Green says, notice that my birds are calmer since me and my 8-year-old hand feed the pigeons. Yes. Put the time in, Mike. Steve O'Brien gives a thumbs up. Stephen Collins says, that cock was one of my favorites, considering his age. We're good now. It'll come back. Just 1 second. My fault. That cock, I will say, here are his sons, right here. Lot number 1. That's from that cock. and the match pair, that's from that cock. Both cockbirds. Two brothers. I'm not joking, guys. There it is. Look, I'm doing some trick photography here. See that? That gets you dizzy. Now you can hear me. But the quality of these pigeons down from the Catrice. Do you guys want a 5-minute story with Emile Denny's? If you want a story with Emile Denny's, post in the comments and I will post it up. If not, it's okay. Whoa. Everyone's quiet all of a sudden. If you want to be filling eggs, it's almost 17. Yeah, impressive. Guys, this pigeon was super. I'm not joking. He was super. Stephen Collins handled the pigeon. It wasn't me telling you he's super. It's another pigeon man. You want the stories. If we get two more people that want to hear this story, it's about a 4 or 5 minute story. You post it in the comments and I'll put it up and I'll listen to it. It is about the base breeder for Emile Denny's. I'll post the photo up. There it is. The Remy stickabout. This cockbird right here. He purchased an 11-year-old pigeon. You guys let me know if you want to hear about the Remy stickabout from 2000 or the 11-year-old super breeder. I believe he was from 65. I want to hear the story. Yes, the video with Emile. Denise story, please. Okay, we got 3 of yous. This will take a few moments, or not a few moments. I'm going to post it up. If you guys have questions, post the questions in, and I'll post them up. I'm not going to talk. I'm going to put it on mute. Here we go, guys. Here's a story with Emile Denny's about his super breeder, the Remy. The Remy. Here we go. Found it. Okay, let's see.
So there were 2 famous stickerboat pigeons after the war. One raised by Descamp van Hasten, one was called IJzeren, First National Aspigeon KWDB, Verreken bought it. There was a second one, the Remy stickerboat, this one. And we bought it. He was born 1954. We bought it in September 1965. 1965 at the age of 11. Yep. So at that time, my father and my grandfather said you should not keep prisoners. Your breeder should fly out. So we learned him we adapted him from Lowe to Gistel, about 40 kilometers. He stayed. Immediately we had children from him. Immediately with every hen, every egg he fertilized, immediately we had good pigeons from him. But we had one red checker, and there was a bit of, he had the bronze, and the bronze is still coming back from there.
From there?
From the Remy.
From the Remy, and again, 65, eh?
Yes,
yeah.
So...
Yeah.
So
no, but he's a 54.
He's a 54 pigeon. So we bought him in 65 and made us very famous. Crossed well with the Van Bruanes and the Catrices. Well, we bought it because our pigeons, Van Bruane and Catrice, were very good in good weather. When the sun was shining. But the Remy pigeon are good in bad weather also. Because we had a pigeon, my most famous pigeon, the T, I always said he had a radar or a GPS when the visibility, when it was raining like now, only 100 meter or 200 meter, he came. And he was never wet. He had like a raincoat. He was in the basket to Barcelona. We basketed at that time from the Sunday liberated to Friday. He had never a scratch on his head.
He always stayed in the corner, right? He didn't.
Yes, he stayed in the corner, but he ended by the backwards.
Yeah, his face in the corner.
Yeah, no, you put him in the basket, he turned him around, and he go backwards to the
Into the corner, yes.
So no knocking.
In the head.
Picking on him.
And that's the story of...
And that's the story of the red, the red or the bronze in the pigeons comes from the Remy steak.
Was this one of the best pigeons you ever brought
Well,
in?
this is one of the best pigeons there ever was. With any hen, you could pair him up. I tell you, we started racing his direct children in 1967. The longest yearling, the youngest race as a yearling was 400 miles then.
Found it, okay. Let's see.
So,
Oh, sorry, guys.
stickleboat pigeons after
Sorry
the war.
about that. I screwed up.
One-
I tried to do something, but he was super. He was a super breeder. Broke him at 11 years old. Let him loft fly at 11 years old. Let him loft fly at 11 years old. Guys, you see the creativity here in the brains. How did you meet Emile Denny's? How did I meet Emile Denny's? Or how did Steven meet Emile Denny's? My first meeting of Emile Denny's, it was I think it was about 2017 or 18. I went to the Fugare show and I introduced myself to Emile Denny's, and we kind of got along. And oh yeah, we got along, and he invited me to come to his place, and we did some selecting of pigeons, and we did an auction, and Ricky, loft manager Ricky, he met him, and I found Ricky and Emile Denny's. Uh, there is Mike from Atlantic Lofts. Mike will tell you how good are the Emile Denny's pigeons. This guy's winning races with Emile Denny's pigeons all day long. We just got along good, and whenever he would offer to me to go to a loft like Annex Gochan or different lofts, he would introduce me to go. They always turned out to be home runs, very good. Like the what I mean by home runs were the people were fantastic, the birds were fantastic, and then the birds that we sold bred winners for people. You can ask Stephen Collins. He went to Annex Gochan's loft. That's the first one Emile Denny's gave me as a gift. Super. The amazing thing about Emile Denny's was his pigeons. His pigeons are grit. You want them for one loft races, you need to send them to the gritty races. The gritty races. Okay, now I'm going to use this Florida Pigeon Derby. You want to send one or two of Emile Denny's to that race because now he's going to have the 400 miles. Trust me, there's going to be a lot of shit that wobbles. But if you have Emile Denny's birds, you're going to win maybe 20 grand, 30 grand. You're going to collect it. So you need those tough-nosed pigeons, but you need to know where to play them, what races have encore races. Thinking. If I send 10 birds to the Florida Pigeon Derby, I know they're going to fly fast. If there's a bit of hard nose, I got a couple of Emile Denny's birds in there. I'm not looking for Emile to win the whole way through. If it happens, okay, good. But what I want to see is when there's the encore race, if I have one or two left, I have four left, one or two of them are Emile Denny's, for sure it's going in. Let's test it out. 400 miles.
European man.
One of the best flyers in our club combine. None of the breeders were prisoners. Think about it yourself, guys. Use common sense.
Stay inside of.
Take a look at the people in jail. They did bad things. They're in jail. All they want to do is get outside and see the fresh air. That right there rejuvenates them. So, if you have prisoners and you can build a big aviary, the bigger the better. If you can build an aviary that goes onto the top of the roof of your loft, they can clap out, they can go up and down, and they have some nice branches in there and make them feel. You want to make your stock birds feel like they're free. But if you're crazy, like Emil Denny's, he broke an 11-year-old pigeon and let it out and let it fly. And that's the Remy stickabout. So whenever you see that copper color in the Emil Denny's pigeons, that's the Remy. Well, now you do. Well, I used to read about the Denny's racing pigeons when I was a kid, and I always wanted to own some, and now I do. Well, I will tell you this. I don't know if I'll have them on the next tour. Maybe I will. I'm going to see. Um, if you come on the tour, I think you're going to love it, David. And I say this to you because I think you need to come here. Same like Mike Green. You people that sat on the fence and waited, you want to buy certain pigeons, great. Buying pigeons is one thing, learning is another thing. You have to use all these tools and put them together, put them together, put them together. That's why when you ask me and I give you my answers maybe have changed over the years because I talk to some of the best pigeon minds in this sport. And I'm always learning and I'm always adjusting and I'm always thinking because that's what we want to do. We want to bring you the best information that we can. But it's all for nothing without super quality pigeons. And most people, that's the first thing that they miss. Robert Venus pigeons also tough pigeons with the copper color in them. Yeah, but Emil Denny's is talking about the Remy stickabout in his pigeons. I'm gonna ask David Tracy. No, David Tracy didn't buy it. It was Stan who bought it. Uh, we sold a few pigeons in our New Jersey auction, and the color had that copper color. Those had the Remy stickabout in them. That's where it came from. Now, Emil Denny's is bringing in the odd new pigeon. He has to keep adding. So, guys, you need to add the best blood and watch what you add. Buying pigeons, and I'm going to tell you this time and time again, buying winning pigeons from these one-loft races, I know you're going to feel good. The next one-loft race that I win, and I'm going to enter some. The next one I win, if I win, fingers crossed, it's for sale the day it wins. I don't want it back. It's gone. I'm not interested. I got the parents. I'll cash my chips in. Because I know it didn't do the tough program. And we're going to have to find a tough program. None of these races, not one, has a real tough program. And what's the tough program? That's the program, the FU program. It makes them dig, dig, dig deep. You got to dig. One of the best pigeons in North America last year was the pigeon that Mike Green won in our race. It had to dig. The only knock on it was it didn't have the pigeons to compete against. But the ones that it did, it destroyed it. And I told Mike Green, sell the pigeon, still sell it. Rosedale, I'm not lying. I believe that you are correct. The Norman pigeons, yeah, you would. They're They're incredible pigeons. And you have to feel them. When you feel the Norman pigeons, you're going to feel just something so beautiful. The creation of their birds is phenomenal. And I tell you, David Tracy, take a look at this sale. I know you said to me you were interested in a couple. Look hard. They're there. The one and the match pair, just from what you're getting in those two pigeons alone. But there's more. You have to look, you have to be patient, and you have to believe this is all a process. The good thing about the Norman pigeons is I think they're a little faster than the Denny's pigeons. The Denny's pigeons are for when she's just plain old, you know, nose to the ground. We're going to dig. Those are digging pigeons. There's nothing wrong with that because you need that as well. You also need the distance pigeons that can work at a little bit quicker pace. The Normans completely can do that. But anyways, I what's this computer? What can I say? We had some fun. We did some talking tonight, and we got to go to Eric's tomorrow. I don't see a bid on these birds. I'm a little discouraged because when you don't see any bids, then you kind of go to yourself, geez, how do we get them back next year? But you guys pick the pedigrees that you like and the quality of the pigeons. I will say the quality in the Eric Lindbergh pigeons in my hands are 12 plus. But they are grandchildren, double grandchildren, a little far from the tree, and I understand that. Hey, I want you to buy pigeons that you want. I want you to buy pigeons that turns your crank and get you excited. If you like what you buy, the results are going to go up. If you're buying a pigeon just for the sake of buying it, don't do it. You have to say, I like this pigeon, I like the look, I like this, and buy it. If you're confident and you put the confidence out there, you're going to get confidence in return. Anyways, guys, I think this has been fun. I got to go back to my room. It's been a fun chat. Tomorrow, watch our channel. We're going to be busy doing stuff. I've been on for an hour and 24 minutes. You guys were great tonight. I hope you liked the videos, story time. Anyways, I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Ryan, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. Eric Lindbergh is up this week. Nicholas and Philip Norman. Wait, hold on. Short distance races become battles for the birds that can dig through. You just need good middle distance pigeons with a bit of grit and a bit of speed. Put that together, and what do you get? Winners. I'm Ryan, Feathers Elite Pigeon Auctions. Thanks, Rosedale. Nice to see you. Get signed up on the Pioneer One Loft race. Come on, guys. I got 9 people. I look like a goddamn trip down fall over. Pick it up now. Let's go. If you like what we do, pick it up now. Wherever you are in the world, pick it up now. Pick it up now. What do I mean? I don't care where you're watching from. If you want to participate, I will go to the best flyers in our area, and I will get birds donated. Ian Sybil is the guy I'm going to hit. Big time. Stephen Collins, thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you made it home. I'll talk to you in a bit. Thanks for flying with me. You guys have been great. Oh, and by the way, if you have Fanta and vodka with lots of ice, it's called a Heather. Have a great evening. Bye for now. Shit, I didn't have the exit screen, but I'll put it on now. Hey, see you tomorrow.